been on stream since beginning of the year, actually. The last thing I did was the Nier Automata demo. For those of you who don't know us, or don't know me, I should say, this is Reddick Aruga, and this is my channel, JustAGamer. I am a competitive Smash player and also a streamer, and I like to stream smaller PS4 and PC games that don't really get a whole lot of attention and whatnot. I know I don't sound really confused right now. I guess it's just trying to get back to the habit of doing this. But this is one of two streams we're going to be doing this week, and you might see the title of what we're doing today on screen. And notice that some of it's in Japanese. That's because this is a PlayStation 2 compilation called ADK Damashii, or Damashii, as the PlayStation Store calls it. And this is a combination of 5 older Neo Geo games. I do remember playing some of these in an arcade, well, 1 or 2 of them. And it's going to show us the loading screen for one of these games now. I believe it is Gengan, which in English is called Aggressors of Dark Combat, which shares the same initials as ADK, the company, which is short for Alpha Denshi Corporation. There's a K synonym for corporation, and that's where it got from. It used to be Alpha Denshi. Now, this is a one-on-one fighting game with kind of a twist. As you can see, you can move around the different planes as if it were a kind of old-school beat-em-up like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or X-Men or some of the D&D games for the arcade. So now I guess it's going to go back to the main screen. We're going to be playing these games shortly. Now, as you can see, the other games of the compilation are Ninja Masters, which is a weapons-based one-on-one fighting game. Very underrated. Didn't really get a lot of exposure in arcades, but it's actually quite good, and a lot of people believe it really holds up to the 2 premier weapon-based fighters on the system, which would be, of course, the Samurai Shodown series and the Last Blade series. We also have Ninja Combat, which is one of the first Neo Geo games, and to be honest, it's not very good. It doesn't really hold up. I'm still going to play through it just to show you guys, and it's kind of fun to, bang out with a friend every once in a while, but it does have some faults in terms of actual game design, and I'll try to go over those in the middle of the game. There's also Ninja Commando, which is not related. That is an overhead running gun, and it's quite good. And then the last one is Twinkle Star Sprites. And a lot of people say this is pretty much like the crown jewel of the collection. It's pretty much worth the investment on its own. And it is a 2-player shmup puzzle versus game. That sounds really tricky, but I don't know how that combination will work, but this game pulls it off, and it pulls it off wonderfully. So let's actually get started on this collection here. And I'm going to go through the games in order. So we have to press start, which I forgot is the touchpad when you're using PS2. So this is a PS2 on PS4 release, and this actually did not get a release in the US for PS2. It was only released in Japan. Now, this came out on PS4 last week as kind of a surprise title. No one really knew it was coming. And the values for the physical PS2 release are still pretty high up there. I just checked eBay, and they are still around the $200 mark for a complete copy in box for the actual PS2 game. I guess it didn't really get a large print run, and it may be sought after possibly because of Ninja Masters or Twinkle Star Sprites. So here's your menu screen. We have options to play the 5 games. We could also change the video. I'm going to keep it the way it is because the games, of course, were meant to be played on kind of a CRT monitor, so 420p. If we stretched it out to 720 high definition, the graphics would look stretched, and it just wouldn't be the same. So I'm going to keep it at the native resolution. We could increase and decrease the volume, change the controls, and change how the game loads and saves. So we will start with Gangan, or Aggressors of Dark Combat. Let's see, there's option for practice versus or training mode. So we'll go through an arcade mode, and I will play on normal. So we have A, B, C buttons which actually work in this game. The A button seems to do a punch. I'm not too familiar with this game, so I looked up some of the moves online, and then C jumps because the control allows you to move all around the planes. So it almost has kind of like a wrestling game feel to it, in a sense. And dashboard. So it's kind of like playing a beat 'em up, except you're doing 1-on-1. This is actually very similar to an old arcade fighting game called Street Smart, which was also made by SNK. And it was the last game that I think they made in arcades before they did the Neo Geo. So I'm going to choose Kisaragi here, I believe her name is. Because I actually know her Gangan moves, so... And now we're going to be fighting Fuma, who's from ADK's World Heroes series. Okay, so we have a dash. And again, we can kind of move around. Okay, now can I pick up that weapon? Is that a possibility? And I can. So I can hit my opponent with, I guess that's a shovel, or... Of course, the computer is doing everything they can to dodge the attack. No, but just let me hit you with the shovel. But no, we can't do that, can we? Because we're SNK, and back in the day, it was just all about how we could... Aha, I hit you. Okay, I'm not quite sure why... Because these are one-round fights. I'm not quite sure. Even though I had my Gangan or Crazy Meter filled, I was doing the... So I'm guessing blocking is done the same way blocking on game, still hold back. I can be honest, like, once you get into this game, it's not really too bad, but I do want that spiked bat. Oh, so that's the whole gang gang. Okay, never mind. No wonder why it wasn't working. Like I said, I don't really know this game super well, so yes, we died. Oh, wonderful.
Okay, let's off the food.
Attack!
Hit bazooka! Hey! 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 Hey!
So when we get to Ninja Masters, I'll probably be able to play that a little better. That's more of a conventional fighter, but can I get anything from this bar? No, apparently not. I have to say, I do like that, so yeah, I beat that guy. Mostly because he didn't get any throws off on me. Okay, I can't quite seem to get the finishing move off. But yeah, every character has like a finishing. When that gang meter starts flashing up top, I guess you could do some sort of I'm not quite sure what that meter at the bottom does. Then. So that would be that finisher we were talking about earlier. And apparently he summoned a tiger to maul me. That's not very nice. Alright, we'll do one more continue on this.
Okay, let's off the food.
Now my question is this, why can't I hit him with the backpack? So that like spinning bird kick kind of move she does, it's pretty cool. It's just very unsafe. There's a lot of recovery. So that combo seems to be working pretty well. Oh, there it was. Now, if I hit him with that heart, that would have been the, that would have been it. I think what she does is she pulls her boyfriend out and kisses him, and it causes the opponent to die, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I don't know. There we go. The only reason I won is because of that move. So it's hopsicle towards and punch. Now we're gonna mirror match. Okay, I guess now we're getting to where the, that was bad. So I guess now we're getting to the, where the computer is just going to be relentless. Thanks for playing. Try again soon. Maybe. Golden halt. Well, I have to admit, that's an interesting 100 megashock screen. Okay. So I guess I have to pick some character. There we go. So now it will let me exit to the menu. And I keep forgetting that in a Japanese game, the O button is to confirm and the X is to back out, which was originally what those buttons were supposed to mean. So now we will go to Ninja Masters. I said, this is more of a conventional 2D fighter. Of course, you have weak and strong punches, weak and strong kicks, and by hitting B and C, I can choose to pull my weapon out. So you can fight with a weapon or without. You can decide how you want to do it. So the two characters on the sides, those are boss characters. So who do I want to go with? I'll go with her, I guess. Kasumi. So yeah, this game has kind of like a chain combo system, which is kind of similar to Marvel games where you go from weak to strong and you get kind of canned combos. I haven't quite figured out her moves yet, but... Okay, so she has some sort of a flip. Kick. Kick. Oh, so it's that Kurosagama she has. And yeah, to be honest, it kind of looks like I'm button mashing, but I'm trying to figure out some of her moves without having to jump over to the move list screen, because... Oh, it's Goemon! Hey, can I pick up your cannon and use it? No, but I can actually keep you from using it, so that's always good. So I kept your cannon away from you. That is a good strategy. Okay, I have no idea how I did that, but... So I think I actually like Kasumi. I like she can pull out the Kurosagama, and so we have... Is this Temno? Okay, some of these names are sounding very familiar. I've been playing Neo, which is one of the reasons why I really haven't been on stream recently. And Temno is a Onyo mage, which basically they use slips of paper to cast magic and various hand motions. I want to know how I did that ball thing I did before. Oh my god, double KO? Fight the better. Okay, so if it's a double KO, then nobody gets the point for that round. Because in some games, like both players get a point. Not in this game, though. was just blocking everything, wasn't he?
勝負
So now, who is this, I wonder?
第一戦開始
Kamui. Not the Kamui I'm familiar with. The one that, you know, I spent 6 streams talking about, and that's from the Silver Case. Which, by the way, I know I still have 2 episodes of that left to do. And I will be doing them. And I'm also going to be getting the PlayStation 4 version that's coming out. Because they're... Goichi Suda, the director of that game, is actually working on 2 exclusive PlayStation 4 scenarios. So apparently he found out more stuff he wanted to talk about using the game's story and characters. So I'm definitely kind of interested to see what he's going to do with it. Well, time ran out.
第2戦開始
甘いな。
第3戦開始 完全勝利
甘いな。
Let's try another character. I don't know who you are, but
第1戦開始
how? So this one has a projectile, that comes in handy. I really wish I used supers for this game.
第2戦開始
Okay, so he has aerial and ground. Alright, one more time.
完全勝利 勝負
Natsume. So I suspect that there's some sort of cheap CPU shenanigans going on here. A lot of arcade games did that. They wanted to make the characters have perfect play AI and whatnot to try to get more money out of you. So the game plays very well. It's not really too fun to fight the computer, unfortunately, but if you're looking for a good versus fighter, this is definitely one to check out. Once again, we will... I hate how you have to actually start a game to do this. Yes. Can I exit to here? So now I got Sasuke. Okay, he's pretty much your... Yeah, he's your... You can... Probably who I should have been using to start. We'll exit back to the menu, and that's it for the fighters on this collection. Interesting enough. As I said, Gangan is different, but it can be pretty fun. And Ninja Masters is actually quite good. But now we're going to go from quite good to quite not so good. So this is Ninja Combat. This was one of the original Neo Geo games that was released in arcades. Most Neo Geos, when they first came out, they had 4 slots for games in the arcade. And the 4 I commonly saw were Magician Lord, Ninja Combat, either Top Players Golf or Baseball Stars. Baseball Stars was for arcades around here. And the last one was NAM 1975, and I bring that up last because tomorrow in the afternoon, I'm going to be back on stream, and I'm going to be playing that because that actually releases on PSN for PS4. It's part of the Arcade Archive series. So here's Ninja Combat. It's kind of a walk-along 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up, except it has more qualities of a running gun because you're shooting projectiles for the most part. And right away, you'll kind of see some of the problem with the game is you see those ninja enemies. Well, one of those, despite the fact you have a life bar, can kill you in one hit. Because there's no invincibility, mercy invincibility when you take damage, so they can just keep running into you and drain your entire health meters. So So I will actually go through the entirety of this game, unless, being that this is a home version of a Neo Geo game, they limit the amount of credits. So that's really it. I mean, the moves you have are, you can shoot projectiles, you can jump, and then you have that kind of flip move. And what I'm going to be aiming to do in this stage is to try to complete it without taking any damage. Because there's a trophy if you complete or not damage, but without dying. There's a trophy if you get through a stage without losing a life. Now, I can pick up those swords on the ground. I'm not going to, though, because, at least for the character I'm using, the projectiles seem to work a little better. And we definitely don't want that axe. So far, so good. But you will see where problems are going to arise very soon. And sometimes there's actually an enemy that comes down that roller coaster. If I can control the scrolling, when the big dude with the axe shows up, I might actually be able to kill him without getting hit. So there he is. That's the guy that cost me a life last time. So I'm still in the possible... There's still the possibility of clearing this without... And there it is. I'm going to get my trophy. I do believe. Yep. Okay, so basically, I'm surprised they don't have the voice narration in the Japanese version. Basically, what the guy is saying is that he was, his name is Musashi, and we can actually play as him now. But he was brainwashed by the enemy to fight against you. And we're going to find two other characters who, after we defeat, we can actually recruit them and play as them for the rest of the game. So if it seems like I have a lot more to say about this game than I did with Ninja Masters or Gangan, it's because I'm familiar with Ninja Combat. I played this a lot when I was younger. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but... So those are those ninjas I was talking about earlier. So now that it can be a little bit more carefree with my moves, I can show you some of the other stuff you can do in this game. So, if you saw where I did that backflip, I could actually hit my attack button afterwards, and as you can see, like, if an enemy touches you, and then if you hold the button, you can release that kind of ninja magic. That's a good way to take out some of the stronger enemies. But it could also get killed if you're not doing it carefully. For example, It's a strong move. You just don't want to be... And those guys are kicking my ass. So this is where one of the weapons, like the axe or the club, might come in handy. Because these little three-way ninja stars I'm shooting are going to be a little too weak to handle enemies like that. And we're about to come up to a much stronger enemy, who is actually one of the playable characters. Now it's not the big fat guy. So you can see where like I have some trouble with the problem of not having kind of any mercy invincibility, because it kind of leads to cheap unavoidable hits like that. And that's really a lot of people's problem with this game. It's a fun little quarter muncher, but it's just that. It was meant to take your quarters. So that is Kagero, and again, she is another one of the characters who I can recruit onto my side. And I will actually go ahead and use her because she's really good. But I'll have to wait until I finish the level. Okay. And here she comes. So her sword can shoot tornadoes. It can also chop me into bits. It almost seems like the weapons in this game just... Something about the hit detection, it just... You can get one hit in with those weapons and that's it. God, Kagero, die! Thank you. So there's some more of those kind of damsel decoys. I need something. Power up something. And there's the boss of the stage. Now, she doesn't have a name. But I call her Blakeman, and I think you understand why. Her... Whoa. Okay, that's enough killing me. There we go, now we're getting somewhere. Yeah, because if she drops on you, that pretty much will kill you. I mean, not that she already doesn't kill you. Oh my god! Really? Die already! Now, if this was an arcade, I'd have already spent like $1 on her alone. Yeah, I know. You suck. Well, this is what arcade games were back in the 90s. They wanted your money. I mean, I know. Believe I watched a video where somebody one credit cleared this game. Hey, wait a minute. You're the woman who... My name is Kagero. I was merely testing your power. Let me join you. Kagero joined the group. See, that's kind of like the way... Actually, in the arcade, she's like, my name is Kagero. I was testing your power. Terrible voice acting. But here she is. Probably one of my favorite characters in the game, and no, not because she's a girl. And her magic is different. And I swear to God, she's like, ready, Paula Abdul, whenever she does her magic. That pinwheel move is pretty interesting. I wonder, is that any good, or is it like the other moves in the game and get you killed trying to do it? Oh, it's like the other moves in the game and it gets you killed trying to do it. Also, Musashi, Kagero, and the character we're going to beat on this stage, Genbu, they cannot pick up weapons. Only Joe and Hayabusa can use the additional weapons, which really isn't that much of a deterrent because the weapons kind of suck, as you saw me trying to use them earlier. So I was telling you about like how I named the bosses, and the reason why I named the bosses was because, and you're going to find this really silly, when I was in 8th grade, I was a big fan of the Dragon Quest anime that actually was released in the US as Dragon Warrior. And in Japan, it's actually called Dragon Quest Able Yo Yushi. I used to watch it every Saturday morning. I used to get so excited to watch it. It was like one of my favorite shows. And I'm like, well, this was around the time the Neo Geo came out. So I'm like, well, somebody should make a show and have it be like the SNK heroes from the Neo Geo game versus the SNK villains. So I started writing up a cartoon based on the Neo Geo characters, which I called Neo Force. And me and my friend at the time, we actually designated ourselves the leader of the villains. And we had all the ninja combat bosses, except for, I don't think we put Damashii in it. But we put all the bosses from Ninja Combat. We put the final boss from NAM 1975 because, well, the final boss from NAM 1970 and I have history. And I'll get more into that tomorrow during our stream. Because there's something that game is absolutely infamous for, and that is the fact not many people could complete it. But here's Genbu. Oh, Genbu and Joe and Hayabusa and Kagero, and I didn't realize the main character from Magician Lord was named Elta, so I just called him Magician Lord. And I'm trying to think, oh, and the two main characters from NAM, and he's going to stop the train. So meet Ironfire, as I call him. Yeah, I'll go over like the names that I gave the bosses, even if they might not be the actual names. Oh, I can't Paula Abdul you? That's bad. No, watch, I'm gonna get a letter from Paula Abdul's lawyers. No, you did not have trademark. Like, okay, whatever. Another good thing about using Kagero is Their windmills can actually hit Ironfire without him doing his fire stream. Unless he gets closer to you like that. Or maybe not. Maybe I just got lucky that first time. One more boss down there. 7 bosses. 7 stages in this game, so... Hey, you! You're that guy who... My name's Genbu! I don't remember the rest of his lines. But... in the American version, I hate the way they make him sound. He's like, I'm Genbu! Like, he can't speak. But I'll play as him in this stage, against my better judgment. Because he's a strong character. There it is. Gyadasai's castle. Must be very careful. Ninja are about. There's probably lots of booby traps inside. If I remember correctly, I think there's a hidden entrance somewhere. I'm trying to remember the cinematics. Okay, so yeah, Genbu just has that little thing. So he's definitely probably one of the strongest characters in the game, but his range is pitiful, and that would be his magic attack, that kind of rock slide. Though I'm not quite sure if I like the fact that you can't change characters when you die. Also, Genbu cannot pick up weapons. I don't know what that button was, but I guess I must have... Oh, I gained an extra life. So Genbu's charge is actually pretty good. Maybe I should have went with Musashi for stage 2. Okay, so this is kind of a cool part. So you have to climb on the fence, kind of a la Super Mario World, and avoid those lasers, which I'm doing a very bad job of doing. It doesn't look like I can hit those things, but I can go through the chain, which I just did. Wait, what? I touched the edge and died. Idea. Okay, so I take that back. Genbu's charge is actually pretty badass against a lot of enemies. Nuclear Man! Yes, that's what I called him. Why? Because he carries a giant missile. I don't know why, but I assumed it was nuclear when I was younger. And no, I did not name him Nuclear Man, it was Nuclear Man. So it has nothing to do with the villain in that absolutely god-awful Superman movie. No, the one we don't talk about. And no, I'm not talking about the ones that were directed by Zack Snyder. I'm talking, of course, about Superman 4, which I now mentioned, so I now must, you know, do something to absolve myself for mentioning such a horrid abomination of art. Like, so the charge really doesn't work well against him at all. And that's part of the problem with the game. Like, I don't know how many beat-em-ups I've seen where if you touch an enemy, you take damage. I mean, even in TMNT, if you pass through an enemy, it doesn't kill you. So more Japanese writing about how they're gonna try to find out where Damashii is, and again, I can choose a character. I will play Musashi since you haven't seen him yet. I'm not sure if he's the best character for the stage, but so he kind of has that. He has like a sunburst of blades that go out. And you can fall off the sides. That's good to know. Right back into the cave we go. They pick up on stage 5. We get to go up another elevator. So I'm really curious I'm really curious about two things in this game. One, the person who, oh yeah, the boss rush. I forgot about this. We actually have to fight some of the bosses again. How did the person actually find a way to get through this mess of a game without dying once? And two, how did he have the patience to sit through this game that many times? I mean, to each his own. Maybe he really thinks it's an excellent game, and it's, you know, just a little fun two-player beat-em-up. It's, again, kind of fun to just play through. But as far as I'm concerned, it's just a game full of cheap hits and unfair enemy attacks and bad collision detection. It could have been a lot more, I think. And like, you'll see where sometimes when I'm hitting the enemy, it doesn't even seem like I'm hitting him. Hologram. I think I called him Hollow Man, but then I start thinking about that Kevin Bacon movie. So yes, apparently 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon works in video games as well. So, alright, like, his pattern I get. Because if you could dodge the side of that 8-way shot, like, I think it would have been better if he was called Hologram or something like that, but... And now he's dead. Alright, so we did stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we should be on stage 6. So, funny enough, I am actually going to go Gembu, because he has the highest damage output, and it doesn't really matter since I'm going to be continue scumming anyway, because unless you're the one guy who what credit cleared this entire game, you're going to be credit scumming anyway. So, and if you think this is hard, but I'm done with the stream, I got Neo tonight. I'm almost near the end. Gotta finish it up. Zelda comes out tomorrow night. Now that was just bad play on my part. So, I guess going back to the show I wrote, yeah, I had it in the notebook, and some of the stuff was kind of interesting. Of course, they did the whole thing where Joe and Kagero get together, and she gets kidnapped, and Joe has to save her. Like, she's tied up and gagged in some crate that's we throw out of the sky to kind of smash her against the ground, and he ends up getting her out just in time. So, typical superhero daring do. And he gets a kiss, and meanwhile, the guys from Nam, I think I called the main character Buckman, even though that's not his name. But again, we just had to throw names out there. Okay, one of my least favorite stages, despite conveyor belts. Oh, and again, if you fall, you will die. Maybe I really should have went like Kagero and Musashi on this stage. Well, I'm surprised. I pulled that off with very little difficulty indeed. Well, at least they give you a little bit of, like, invincibility with the, when you get a new life, so there's at least that. Oh my god, the golden dragon Chinese finger traps. And that pretty much made even considering getting any sort of power-up useless. So remember, folks, Ironfire just turned around and killed me. He just turned around. Okay. At least the enemy's old traps hurt them in this game. So if you're wondering why you never saw this Neo Geo cartoon of mine, well, one, I wouldn't have gotten published anyway because I would have had to get the rights from SNK and probably wouldn't have worked. And secondly, 3 or 4 episodes in, my school bully decided to throw my notebook on the school roof, and I never saw it again. And I think it rained the next day, so it was destroyed regardless. Now, who's this guy? I'm trying to remember. Oh, don't tell me I named him Kabuki Man. Like, what is this? Kabuki Man, Nuclear Man, Hollow Man? What is this, Mega Man?
どすこい岩石落とし。
Oh, we were on the last stage. Some of this music sounds like Beastbusters. One of the stages. I wonder if they reused it. So how are we gonna end off? I think we'll end with Kagura. So we're gonna, yeah, here's Blade Wing, so we're gonna fight more bosses. Oh, interesting point. My character in the game, or the show, Mr. Big, he ends up saving Blade Wing, and they have a romance. So I don't know how many times you've heard about one of the main villains having a girlfriend, but like he gets a kiss. I mean, I don't know if I ever expand onto that. I know, like, this really, the story I've been telling, oh, Iron Fire again? How many of these things did they manufacture? When you're trying to deal with a boss and they just insist on throwing popcorn at you. Ooh, what's... Oh, okay, so that's a one-up. It's Missile Man again. know, you'll see where, like, you could tell, like, I was hitting them, and apparently the hitbox just was not connecting, so... Oh my god, enough is enough. Oh, and here we go. This is the final enemy. So we finally made it. So there is Genocide. Seems easy enough until you realize, nope, he's not really the final boss. Well, that form of him wasn't. And I never did understand what the deal was with the freaking brown Slimer or whatever it is. Or gray, whatever. And yay, we beat the game. We were always renegades. We did it. So now all the other enemy characters who see you around sometime, they're gonna go off and do their own things, and so yeah, as you can see, the game does have a lot of problems with hit detection, cheap hits, lack of invincibility after you take damage, so you can't really get your bearings back. Yeah, definitely a lot of collision issues though. It's like there were play times where my projectiles seemed to be contacting with the enemy, but nothing happened. Meanwhile, you so much as touch an enemy and you die. But as I said, these were made to take your quarters and, you throw in $10, have a fun playing through a game with a friend. But probably in the end, well, it's kind of a fun game to play. Not one of the best Neo Geo games, or not one of the best original Neo Geo games. There were definitely better ones out there, such as the one I'm going to be playing tomorrow. The Course Magician Lord stands as one of the all-time classics. However, that is not on this compilation. It is, however, on the SNK Arcade Classics Volume 1, which is a PlayStation 2 title, which is readily available. I think only for like 20 on the aftermarket, so it's not really too difficult to get a hold of if you are interested. And it's got a lot of really nice games. And again, we're going to have to start the game. I really don't understand why they make us do this, but then we can exit the menu, choose, go to the next game. So I'm going to save Twinkle Star Sprites for last. And we're going to go with Ninja Commando next. So this is, you would think that it might be a semi-sequel or spiritual successor to Ninja Combat. And indeed, some of the things in the game seem fairly similar to Ninja Combat. However, it is not a sequel. It has nothing to do with it, as far as I know. I did do some research. Aside from similar names, it's not the same game. As you can see, this is a overhead run and gun, kind of similar to Shock Troopers, with kind of a ninja time traveling theme. So I'm going to go ahead and we are going to get started. So I can play as Joe, Rayar, and Ryu. So yeah, A button shoots, B button we get like a somersault. That's good for dodging. And if we hit B and A, we can kind of shoot to the side. And C is the ninja tricks. I don't know if that's kind of it's a crowd control move. I'm just not sure if it drains life. So we're about to infiltrate the base of the main enemy, who I believe his name is Spider. And normally in a lot of games, this kind of would be the so yeah, it is a life drain. Good to know. So yeah, a lot of things in this game are very similar to Ninja Combat, but as far as I know, they do not have anything in common with each other. Also, since this is the home version of Ninja Commando, the home version gave you, I believe it was 3 credits. So unless I do extremely well, which I will try to do and not get myself killed super easily, I probably will not be able to show you the end of the game. If this was the arcade version of the game, then I would be able to. But as you can see, we kind of got this move which lets us whirl around. Fire. There is Spider, actually. Not who you would expect. So you're probably wondering, well, you beat the game already? No. You see, what has happened is Spider actually went back in time. Now we're using our own time machine to go back and chase him through history. So it's kind of a time travel twist to it, which is pretty cool. So I'm not sure which era this is because everything is all in Japanese. I need that. I need that help. So I guess we'll go off to the side here. And some sort of primitive age. Now, what I find really interesting about this game is this is a overhead run and gun with a time travel theme, and this is not the first kind of. This is not the first game of this type that ADK has done. ADK was actually an SNK subsidiary, or kind of like a second-party studio, and so yeah, they were a secondary studio for SNK. And they made a game, I think it came out in the late 90s, called Time Soldiers. And Time Soldiers had a very similar plot. You were chasing a villain through various periods of time, using a kind of time machine device. And the difference between this and Time Soldiers is that Time Soldiers use kind of a rotary knob, which the SNK used for, of course, Sakari Warriors. So you could move in one direction and shoot in the other, kind of independently. Nowadays, a lot of games do that by using kind of a dual stick format, which is similar to the arcade classics Robotron 2084 and, of course, Smash TV, which a lot of people are very familiar with. Now, Time Soldiers was a game that was released in, I believe my arcade had it. Actually, I'm almost certain my arcade had it. Oh shoot, I know I used jump. Okay, that's actually pretty hilarious. Like, I really need to find out now if these games have... And I'm pretty well, like, I do a lot of research into game history, and like I would know if these two games were connected, but like when you consider the projectiles and how similar they are, I really can't believe that these two games are not connected. You have defended the history from the enemy. Good. So I believe that we're now in feudal Japan, which actually, makes sense for these characters. To beat the mid-boss to that one. So yeah, much more fair than Ninja Combat. Actually, that directional knife comes in really handy. And I think that's probably like a major part of the game. So this is actually quite a fun game. This is probably one of my favorites on the collection anyway. And I screwed up there. Oops. Okay, that's not good. Okay, did they change it for this release? Because it seems like they're letting me continue infinitely, so maybe we will see the end of this game. So where is the next time period? Oh, I guess we went back to the prehistoric age. So does this mean we're gonna fight a dinosaur at the end? Oops, I accidentally skipped the... Sorry about that. And I know we can't really read it, but... So not only was it a dinosaur, it was a mechanical dinosaur. And that makes it even better. I figured in the interest of time, I'd just go ahead and use a magic. Plus, they usually give you a few healing items before that, so. Oh, that's no good. Actually, let's try Rio. I don't believe I've ever played this one. Not that I think it really makes that much of a difference, because I think they all pretty much just play the same, but... So I don't remember how many stages are in this game, but I imagine we've got to be getting pretty close. I think this may be the World War stage, which may be the end of the game, I think? I do not know if that's the end of the game or not. It says Defender of History, so maybe it is. Yep. Oh, nope, that was not the end. So it's... Oh, I guess we got a boss rush to do it, guys. Ah, shit. Oh, let's finish this one off quickly. Okay, oh, yes. I believe I have to. Duh. Does that almost look like a Gradius core ship to anyone else? Now that's the end, I do believe. Spider and Mars Corporation scheme has been wiped out. This is the finale. The battle throughout the ages seems to have come to an end. But remember, it is not equal to the coming of peace. Peace in the future should be built by your hands. So yeah, so that one's actually really quite good. Now, that kind of weird wave beam right there, I don't know how he did that. I guess maybe that's the attack if you collect 3 of those scrolls. I'm guessing, because there were times where I had 2 of the scrolls and then or maybe there's like bonus attacks in this game that I don't know about. I'll have to play through this again another time. But again, this is probably one of my favorite games on the collection. I think it's just a great running gun. The time travel theme is pretty neat. It controls really well. I'm not sure I like it better than, say, Shock Troopers, but Shock Troopers is excellent. But it's really quite good for what it is. It's certainly a far better game than Ninja Combat. That's for sure. One-point advice. Also, there are special attacks. Well, when I restart the game in order to exit out, I'll give it a quick try. So let's see if we can find any of those scrolls, because I wonder if the scrolls enhance your ability to, Okay, so yeah, it turned into a phoenix. Okay, so we'll exit to menu. And there is just one game left to go. Not sure if I'm going to play entirely through this game, but I at least want to show it to you because a lot of people would say this is probably the best game in the collection, and I can see why. It's really fun. So this is Twinkle Star Sprites. And as I said, this is kind of the versus puzzle shooter fighter, I guess you'd call it. So we only need to use A and B in this game. I don't know which option is which. This is story mode, so... So how it works is, you get a regular shot which you just press A for, and then if you hold A, you get kind of this charge shot. And then every time you destroy an enemy, they'll kind of explode. But if you can get them to explode next to each other, you do kind of like a chain explosion. And if you can rack up big combos, you can throw bigger attacks their way. For example, if you make it so that you can do a huge explosion, you can send a ton of bullets their way. So that would be victory for me. So I win that round, and then we go to the next one. Now, if the enemy throws more bullets, or those flashing bullets on your side of the screen, you can actually reflect those back. And if you reflect enough of them back, you can do what's called a boss attack on your opponent. And that will pretty much wipe them out in one hit if you can get it. See what I mean? I just gave them some extra enemies to take out. But now I pushed it back onto them. Now sometimes you'll see where those enemies have like a bubble surrounding them. That means they can take an extra hit. So that's his boss attack. And he actually just beat me there using his boss attack. Because he knocked enough of my stuff back at that I was throwing at him. So I guess I have lives, which is good. I die again. Oh, I'm still alive! He beat me again. So I won that time. Which shall bring me to the next opponent. Let's see who we face now. This game actually got a lot of standalone releases. A lot of the other games on this Neo Geo collection didn't. This is the only one that did. This got a Saturn and a PlayStation 1 release. It also got a PlayStation 2 kind of sequel remake, I guess. Basically improved graphics, and I guess they might have added new characters. Somebody who used to show up at our store, he used to have the game, and he used to bring it in for us to try. And I didn't get to try it, but it looked really fun. Okay, he beat me? I don't quite... I guess I don't quite understand. I don't know. So we're gonna start back at him again. See, there's definitely stuff about this game I don't quite get, so to speak. Yes. Okay. Tell her I'll be right there. Okay, everybody. Unfortunately, something just came up. I have to stop the stream. But I hope you enjoyed this look at ADK Damashii. I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon for NAM 1975. And I'll continue a 27-year grudge against the final boss who doesn't let you continue on him. But I'll see you guys later. If you liked the video, like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. As always, this is JustAGamer, and keep on gaming, my friends.